Ihsahn put out a new metal record, so we're going to talk about his discography.
These albums are just unbelievable. Listen to what we have to say about them because you care.
Ihsahn is a true genius in the metal scene. Am I right, man?
Yeah, dude. And his guitar playing is top tier for sure.
And composition in general. So we're just going to kick it off from all the way in the back with 2006, The Adversary. And I remember when this album came out, I was so excited for this album in particular because I loved the Last Emperor record, Prometheus, The Discipline of Fire and Demise. That was like Emperor's clear shift to where Ihsahn was going to go with his particular sound. It's absolutely brilliant. Check this out.
I'm most familiar with their singles from this, Called by the Fire, The Pain Is Still Mine, and He Shall Walk in Empty Places are just unbelievable songs. Man, the production really leaves something to be desired, really. There's the thin, flat drum sound. And not a whole lot of low end that you expect from modern, production quality.
Yeah.
It's his most black metal too, which is it's cool. It's like an Emperor 2.0 kind of record. I like this one. I have it at B-. What about yourself?
I'm pretty much in the same boat. I would say overall, the production is definitely what ruins it for me. It's weird because I don't remember this album sounding this subpar in the production department.
So much emotions around it.
There are some really great moments though. Like you said, Called by the Fire. Check this one out, man. This is a pretty sick song. You can definitely still hear the genius of Ihsahn here though. I put it at B-.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what? Ihsahn's not done. He's stepping up. He's still doing some great stuff. We've got angL coming out in 2008. This was a clear step up in production, which was a welcome change. But as a whole album, though, I would say I kind of got the feeling that Ihsahn's still getting his footing a little bit.
Oh no, Ihsahn.
There's some great moments, though, with Michael Ackerfeld on angL as a guest musician. Check this out.
That's my favorite part of this album, dude. Everything in angL. The collaboration between Ihsahn's musical composition, playing, all of that with Mike Ackerfeld. It's just insane, dude. It's so fucking good. I like the trad metal influences that, they kind of leaned more into versus the black metal stuff. Kind of disagree with you in that I thought the production was pretty similar to the first one. I didn't really feel like he made massive leaps like he will in upcoming records. So I kind of have it in this similar area, like B-. It's good. It's definitely enjoyable, but there's some things to be desired.
I just meant that the production was a step up. I wouldn't say it was a drastic step up. There are some other good songs too, like Emancipation was a really good song off of this record. Ihsahn in particular shows off that blackened kind of feel with what he's going for with this particular project, with those like progressive metal rhythms. As an album, though, I agree with you. It's not really one that I would throw on very often. I'm with you, man. Definitely a B.
So above or below?
It's above.
Above it? Okay.
Yeah, same tier, but above.
Got you.
And what comes after angL? is After in 2010. This is where Ihsahn's stuff really started to click for me. That black metal fury, wild progressive textures with odd supportive instruments like saxophone and horns. When I think of Ihsahn, though, I almost really always think of the intro of Frozen Lakes on Mars. That's easily one of his best fucking songs. So brilliant, so catchy, so heavy with its contrast. It's just such a great song. Listen to this.
Dude, I love this record, and I love how much the composition really just stands on its own. From the title track on through the rest is just perfection, dude. It's absolute perfection. That leap motif that kind of gets woven. It's brilliant. This is my S tier, bro. I fucking love this album. I think the production is where it needs to be. Everything just sits very nicely. It's got enough low end, feel beefy in today's modern standards. I love this record.
I don't blame you, man. It's not quite my S tier, saving mine for later, but I do revisit After all of the time. It's a solid record in his discography. Put it at S. Now we're getting into the 2012s with Eremita. Man, the production on this album continues. It continues to be great. The weightiness of the drums alone sounds so freaking good on this album. And I actually really like using this record as a mix reference sometimes. It's also cool to hear that collaboration with Einar Solberg of Leprous fame. He is excellent with Ihsahn's writing. Alongside his signature sound, the chorus just hits so fucking hard in Arrival, dude.
I really don't have much bad to say about this. This is After 2.0 for me. I love the pacing of this record, the production. It's just kind of a half a click above After.
I agree with you.
You know, and it's just, dude, what a follow-up. I have this at like A+, like just inching behind After, basically.
It feels just like a darker exploration and continuation of After. Paranoid's chorus is another fantastic moment. Has that like a negative emotional weight to it. And you cannot have 2010s era Ihsahn without the saxophone. And one of the best songs that he's ever written with saxophone is The Eagle and the Snake. It fucking rips. It's so evil. I agree, man. Easily A tier record.
Awesome.
Put it at A.
It's at A.
Das Seelenbrechen. I'm gonna butcher that. You can hate me in the
fine. That's how I would have said it.
This album is where Ihsahn really upped that experimentation into the darker progressive metal territory. More wild rhythms, electronica, supportive black metal fare. Here's what I mean. This is where he kind of starts to lose me. And this, I think, is more of a reflection on me as someone who's not a big fan of progressive metal in general. I'll be the first to admit it's one of my least listened to genres.
It's anti-Christian.
I think that there's definitely something good to be said about Ihsahn kind of dipping his toes into like pop, dare I say, pop territory. I think Pulse is like an amazing like dark wave track. The song M really hones in like his like Pink Floyd influences. You know, you can hear some of that David Gilmour guitaring on there. It almost feels like a Perdition City light for me. It's
kinda,
like
yeah, with more black metal.
Right. And symphonic elements. I think, you know, you see Ihsahn really leaning into the symphonic elements here. But the delivery as a whole feels very jumbled, and I just don't think as a full length it sits very well in his catalog.
To your point on the poppiness, there's some rad rhythmic and catchy moments, which I do like, and he's continued this throughout his discography, like the super groovy sections in NaCl, which is sodium chloride for you chemistry nerds.
Nerd alert!
What?
The songs, though, they just tend to meander and never really give me that like wow moment. It almost feels like a black metal musician trying to write a Genesis record.
Yeah, dude, it's perfect. Yeah.
And it doesn't quite hit for me. This could have been like a 4-song EP and it would have hit harder.
Yep.
So I have it at B-.
Yeah, I got C+.
2016's Arktis. Here we are, mates. My absolute favorite Ihsahn record. We have Einar Solberg back again as a guest musician. 2 of the best tracks Ihsahn has ever written, in my opinion. Disassembled and Celestial Violence. This album is easily some of Ihsahn's most well-constructed and thought-out metal material. The production is also absolutely stellar. From front to back, the album rips with those progressive black metal mastery influences and just fantastic earworm sections that he carried from the last record. Just listen to these sections of Mass Darkness and South Winds, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
There's a whole slew of amazing Norwegian progressive bands that fall in this category. You got Green Carnation, you got Bork Nagar, you've got In the Woods, you know, back in the old days you had Arcturus. You know, these guys were all kind of like carving a real niche in this genre, and Arktis, dude, just stands as a top tier album. Within this subgenre of like Norwegian progressive black metal, if you want to call it that. It's your S tier, right?
It is my S tier.
Yeah.
Getting towards the end of his discography, we have Amir in 2018. For some reason, I don't know why this happened, but the drums sound quieter on this album. And it's kind of weird to me because there's a long stint of everything just sounding fantastic. But either way, it kind of makes the songs lose a little bit of power for me. The best song on the record just lacks that oomph that I really want. And just check this out.
Yeah, as far as production goes, I agree with you. It's kind of weird because he has been on a trajectory of honing in his drums, especially as he brings in really talented drummers.
Yeah.
It's unusual. I don't hate this record. I kind of really like some of his, you know, he's still got a little bit of like the poppy trad metal kind of stuff going on. There's definitely some cool moments on here, but yeah, you know, it's not my favorite.
I think my biggest issue is it just lacks that intensity that I love in the mid-era Ihsahn records. The compositions are great. I mean, he's a freaking genius. They're emotionally weighty, well-written, but I just miss the grit, man. My favorite song on the record, though, is easily the first track, Lend Me the Eyes of Millennia. It's a hell of an intro for a record, dude. But unfortunately, and I don't know why, the album just doesn't keep that epic symphonic black metal intensity that I really wanted. Overall, it's a strong, good record, but just some great songs that I would grab for a playlist. I put it at B.
So where would we put it in the B tier here? Because we got a few spots.
I put it right in the center of the B tier.
In the center? Okay.
Yeah, it's a solid, good record. So now we got to the self-titled Ihsahn 2024. How does the new album stack up to the old ones? Let's talk about it. So we're at this legendary new release, right? 6 some years later, and Ihsahn back with some of the best and cool supportive composition elements that you can include with metal, and that's a freaking full-blown orchestra.
Hell yeah.
One clear distinction that I noticed in particular, and I don't know if you noticed this too, but this is just a mind-blowingly cinematic record. I mean, just check out this intro section of Twice Born and you'll know what we mean. Unbelievably epic, right?
Yeah.
What I love too is just Ihsahn did not leave anything on the table with his sound. He just simply added to it. Those blackened progressive metal influences that he's always had in his discography are back in full force. It still hits hard, but now we have like Star Wars level soundtrack on top of it.
I'm glad that you mentioned Star Wars, dude, because this, to me, just speaks like John Williams, Hans Zimmer, Jerry Goldsmith, Basil Polidaris, like any of those like epic composers from like the 80s and 90s action sci-fi soundtracks.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell like that's what he was listening to, and that's what inspired him. Dude, almost 10 years after Das Seelenbrechen, this is a much stronger piece that really leans into those symphonic and orchestral arrangements and stuff. This is the longest time period he's ever gone without releasing a record, and for him to come out with this as his self-titled is like, holy shit. This is an epic record for sure.
The rhythmic components of the album are really great too. Ihsahn still employs those off-kilter, progressive sounding hits, but they're emphasized this time. In addition to the heavy guitars, they have orchestral impact, which is freaking amazing. Overall, I would say this album was pretty goddamn insane. I listened to it a bunch since we got the promo. It's easily one of Ihsahn's strongest albums yet. It doesn't dethrone my S tier, but honestly, I think for me it could with time, and that's some strong words. This is easily a strong A+ record, and all I know is I really need to see this.
Let's put it up at A.
Either the top or the middle of A. Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Forge Mates? Definitely leave them down in the comments. We are very good about checking the comments, believe it or not. We basically reply to everything, so be sure to leave your tier ranking.
And check out some of our other videos right here.
Go with the gods, Forge Mates. You may see the after all.